welcome back. In true world's fastest podcast fashion, we are here for only a few minutes. However, this week we are taking a slightly different approach as most of our industry is working hard to help those in need following the devastation Hurricane Ian left behind. Now that we're still growing, please still like, follow, share, and comment. But without further ado, my name is Anna Shapiro. This is Jasin Quimby, and welcome back to the world's fastest podcast.
Thanks, Anna. I appreciate it. So today we have Matt Mulholland here from NCI, the National Claims Institute, and Listen to the Bull podcast. So the champion here, to the bearded wonder, I'm so honored to be in his studio today. We're going to go over just one question we have for him, and we're going to get some really good insight from his experiences. So Matt, here's your question.
Okay.
Tell us about your experience being in the middle of the hurricane this year, and what you saw, who you were with, and the impact it made on you.
Well, I went into the Hurricane Eye, and we broadcast live. And for some reason, with TJ McCormick, the world's greatest roofer, and for some reason, we discovered that people in general are dumb, because they would rather watch two idiots go into the middle of the storm than actual news people that know what the hell's going on. Real meteorologists could give real meaningful information, were ignored, and instead they watched us. I don't know why.
Reality TV works.
I guess so. Plus, I'm dead sexy. It's got to be the
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
I mean, I kept tuning in. You know.
Yeah.
Don't need to know why.
What would you say was one of the most surprising things you saw out there in the field?
Actually, this storm is a little bit weird. This is the third hurricane I've gone into, but normally the northeast quadrant of the storm has the strongest winds.
Absolutely.
And so when we got hit with that quadrant of it, where we were in Port Charlotte, it didn't seem that bad. Like, maybe I was thinking to myself, maybe I'm just used to it at this point. Maybe this is it's just that I'm not as afraid as I was before. I don't know, but it just didn't seem that bad. And then it sat on us for almost 6 hours. We had no idea. And then, suddenly it was over. 6 hours in, we have no signal, we have no internet, we have no way of looking at the radar, so we really don't know what's going on. We see the storm lightening up, less wind, it's still gray skies, still drizzling, but we decided we're going to go out, we're going to go check things out. So we went for a walk, took some video of some things, thought it was pretty cool, posted a few photos and stuff. And then we decided to head back to the carport that we holed up in. And on the way back, the back side of that storm hit us because we were in the eye and we didn't know. And the back side of that storm was strong as hell, way stronger in the northwest quadrant than the northeast. And it's coming in different directions because it's a spinning storm. So we're having trouble standing. We can't walk in a straight line, and suddenly we're hearing debris fly at us. We see there's always flashing or some kind of metal component that's flying all over the place. There is a real possibility of decapitation. And we're walking our happy asses back to the thing that's probably half a mile away, and we're having trouble standing. When you get hit with the eye wall, that's the fastest winds that are there. So we end up ducking behind cars, trying to duck out of the way of debris. On our way back, we had to hide behind buildings to build up some steam, wait for a slight lull, and then run as far as we can, hide behind another building. We eventually got back and we were fine. But we had no idea we were in the eye. It was crazy that it sat on us for 6 hours. And then we finally got some of the eye and then got hit with much worse for the next few hours. That storm just sat. It was a crazy storm.
I heard you guys were trying to fly a drone in the middle of the eye. Was that true?
We were going to, but we didn't know we were in the eye.
That the hurricane was gone.
Right. We thought it was over, so we had plenty of time. We didn't, when you picture an eye, you're thinking this eye wall, you're going to be able to see clear skies, beautiful, sun shining through, probably a rainbow or two, some daisies popping up and blooming, some birds chirping,
That's how they work.
dancing, frolicking deer even. None of that. Not a single frolicking deer.
Now, when you weren't recording, I know there was some other people in the industry. Did you see other people, or were you meeting up with other people, or were you just lone rangers out there?
Well, we were out there with Hail Trace and their crew, and so they were kind of directing us of what's going on because they had the live weather data. So we saw them, and there's always stormers out in those things. We got to see a lot of the storm chasers in different storms before. There was one storm chasing vehicle we saw that crushed front end. Either they ran into something or something ran into them. Oh. Pretty crazy. But there was a lot of people that were stranded all over the place, needing gas to get out of places. They didn't know this was coming. They knew that there was a storm, but it wasn't supposed to hit where it hit. It was supposed to hit much further north. So a lot of these people, they didn't evacuate. They had no idea. The models were very inaccurate. It's a real shame. So we're actually going into the next storm. We've got some sponsorships. There's even a documentary that might be involved. We're going to go into the next storm or broadcast live again, but we've got weather stations to put up all over town to be able to get live data with satellite feed to it so that we can see what's going on in real time and hopefully get some worthwhile data to be able to send back to NOAA and other weather nerds, and they can figure out some better models in the future. And they're really cool because they're 3D printed weather stations. So my inner nerd is geeking out a little bit.
Here you go. Well, awesome. What advice would you give anybody in the future that you saw in real life?
That I saw in real life in the storm?
Yeah, that would help next time we have a hurricane coming. How would you at least improve on the communications within a community?
Oh, you know what? We have to go back old school. All right. Once your cell phone loses signal, TV's not picking up anything. You got no cable, you got no power. You have no communication unless you have a weather radio. Get yourself a weather radio. Get some batteries. That's the only way you're going to get information once the power's gone and your cell phone signal's out.
Count on it.
And there's no other way to do it. So you have to go back old school in that regard. Get one of those. Everyone needs to get one. And it has to be a weather radio because then it has the right band for the alerts.
That's actually a great suggestion because I know a lot of my family is near, the headquarters, and they were saying for like 6 solid hours, they had no idea what was going on. And it was just hovering, kind of similar to what you're saying. And we were trying to send texts and updates, but they would barely get them. And that's vital. That's great.
There you go. Cool. Well, I appreciate you being on the show today. Just wanted to get everybody a real life testimonial for being out there in the middle of a hurricane and the reality of what's happened and what's going on. There's a lot of things that we know behind the scenes in the industry of the damage and destruction, but there's another side to it that the news won't show you. So we couldn't be happier that you gave us some time today to go over that with us.
No problem.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. And thanks for everyone for jumping on here for a few minutes. We know everyone's been real busy, but still do us a favor, hit that button below to like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, whatever medium you're on. Just go ahead and help us out there. But we can also be found on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. But we do hope everyone is staying safe as we try to get back to normal during this tough time. So thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week. Stay busy and be safe.
Thanks, guys.